Hey guys, I hope everyone's day is going well. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the most expensive yo-yo I have ever reviewed on my YouTube channel and the most expensive yo-yo I've ever had my hands on in my entire life. Without further ado, today we are going to be taking a look at the Enso yo-yo Metatron's Cube. And before you ask, the price of this yo-yo is
$750.
So let's talk about it. All right, so as I said before, Metatron's Cube is the most expensive yo-yo I have ever reviewed in my entire life, but there's a reason for that. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Enso YoYos for sending me such an expensive yo-yo. I've reviewed a good amount of their yo-yos, and I've honestly loved every single one. So once you guys finish up with this video, be sure to check out my other reviews of Enso YoYo's yo-yos. They've been making some really high quality products over the years. They've also been innovating with new types of metals and materials for yo-yos, and they're definitely a company you're going to want to keep an eye on. So once you finish up with this video, be sure to check out my other reviews of Enso yo-yos. I'll have them linked down below in the description. And of course, I want to credit the company itself, so I'll include their website and Instagram in the description down below, so be sure to check them out if you haven't already heard of them. But without further ado, let's talk a little bit about this very expensive yo-yo. So Metatron's Cube is the first ever fully sized metal Damascus titanium yo-yo. What that means is this yo-yo is completely made out of titanium. But it's not just made out of any type of titanium, it is made out of Damascus titanium, which is why it has this absolutely insane look to it. I have literally never seen a yo-yo in my entire life that looks quite like this. And so normally I don't really do unboxings for yo-yos, but I think this one definitely deserved a good unboxing because the unboxing experience is just awesome. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. But let's talk a little bit about the specs of this yo-yo. I'm gonna show them on the next screen in just a bit, but we'll also talk a little bit about them afterwards. Okay, so in terms of specs, Metatron's Cube is not too irregular, but there's a couple I want to point out. Diameter of 54 millimeters, pretty standard for yo-yo in this day and age. The width of 47.6 millimeters, that's definitely on the wider side. I would say the weight of 61 grams is very light, and then obviously the material of Damascus titanium is very, very special, a very expensive material to use, which is kind of the rationale for why this yo-yo is just so expensive. So taking a look around the yo-yo again, the color and just style of this yo-yo is insane. It looks incredible in my opinion. I love these waves that kind of go from blue to orange to yellow. It overall just looks fantastic, and I'm a huge fan of the appearance of this. This is definitely an eye-catching yo-yo, so if you bring this thing out at competition, people are gonna be turning heads. Now, in terms of the shape is so comfortable. It's a really nice organic shape. It's got a beautiful slope down to the bearing, super comfortable to hold in the hand, so I'm a big fan of that. And then it's also got a step right near the bearing. That's gonna hopefully reduce the amount of friction between the string and the yo-yo when it goes off axis. But overall, beautiful shape. I am a big fan of these nice round organic shapes. Now moving on over to the cup, we've got a couple little cuts there, a bit of a ridge there that you could lock in theoretically for a thumb grind, and then it leads down to a flat center with a point coming out in the center. I think that is to allow for a longer axle to be used with the yo-yo. But overall, appearance-wise, this yo-yo just looks sick. It is such a unique looking yo-yo, and I'm a big fan of it. And it's also worth mentioning, this yo-yo sounds insane. Let's get another one of those dings. Okay, so how does this $750 yo-yo play on the string? For starters, this thing is so light. Oh my gosh, I could not believe it. When I threw it down, I was shocked. This is quite possibly the most light feeling and maneuverable yo-yo I have ever experienced in my entire life. And the cool thing about using metals other than aluminum or stainless steel for a yo-yo is you get to do really fancy things with the weight distribution that just alter how the yo-yo plays. So this yo-yo is fast, and boy is it agile. This thing changes direction no problem, and it really just zips through all of my combos. It's almost like the yo-yo just does exactly what I want it to do when I want it to do it, and even faster than I imagined. So when I'm doing these tricks, I feel the yo-yo just dancing along the strings, popping from slack to slack or onto another string, and I'm a huge fan of this feel. The feel is also super comfortable, I must say. This is one of the most fun yo-yos I've ever played with in my entire life. It really has this nice, fun, pleasant feel to it. So, you know, if you've ever tried a more heavy yo-yo, sometimes it comes down to the end of the string with a thud, or it just feels kind of sluggish. That is not the case with this one. This is the most effortless yo-yo playing I have ever done in my entire life. The spin time with this thing is just incredible. I was shocked with this. Normally when you have a very light yo-yo, the spin time is kind of bad or the stability is bad. Just because the yo-yo is so light, it doesn't have that much force to it to prevent it from going off axis. But this is a shockingly stable yo-yo. I could not believe it. This is something incredible. I was finishing some of my combos with so much spin time left, and I literally was shocked. It feels like you're playing with a 50-gram yo-yo that's barely even on the string. However, you will find that when you finish a combo, it has way more spin than almost every bimetal or monometal yo-yo I've ever tried in my life. I can confidently say that the performance of this yo-yo is second to none. It is such a light feeling yo-yo. It doesn't feel super rim weighted, but it's got a ton of stability. It really was not coming off axis very easily. And I also know that with yo-yos that have this more organic, rounded shape, frequently they can be a little bit more unstable. That is not the case for this one. This is one of the most stable yo-yos just in terms of performance that I've ever used in my entire life. Furthermore, since the shape is so wide and accommodating, slack tricks are so easy with this. So when I was doing all my different hops and whips and things like that, super simple with this. I was landing all of them with no problem. Obviously, fast tricks are super easy with this yo. It just dances across the string, and it's got enough spin time to maybe even throw in another combo at the end of your rail combo. I also found that binds were very good with this yo, so I had no problem really with slippy binds or it being too grabby. I'm using some normal OT string, and the default response pads and response system were super nice. They were nice and forgiving, so it didn't come back to my hand too sharply, and regens were also very consistent, so I didn't have any problems there. Tech tricks were also excellent with this yo-yo. I will say that since the finish of this yo-yo is kind of this polished finish, you do want to avoid touching the yo-yo because it will lose spin significantly. That's just the thing with polished yo-yos, is since there's a little bit of friction between your finger and the yo-yo, when you touch it, it kind of reduces spin quite a bit. So when I was doing tech tricks and messing them up and touching the yo-yo, it did lose a little bit of spin, but really it's nothing to be alarmed of, and hopefully if you're better at your tech tricks than I am, you'll have no problems there. But I didn't really have any issues of it fitting into more dense string configurations or anything there. It was no problem. I also found horizontal to be great with this yo-yo. It again spins and moves so quickly, so I was flying through some of my horizontal tricks faster than I ever have done before. And it's definitely got that stability there to keep those horizontal tricks on plane. Obviously, with a kind of polished, sticky finish, you're not going to be able to do grinds and things like that, but I mean, come on, this thing just looks so good. So honestly, I really don't have many gripes with this yo-yo. It is super light, it is very long spinning and stable, it dances across the string, it's very fun and floaty to play with, and it's kind of just a nice effortless yo-yo to throw some awesome tricks down. I will say, if you don't like light yo-yos, this may not be the one for you because it's definitely a very floaty feeling yo-yo, but performance doesn't suffer at all, which is a cool thing. I wouldn't say this is like your ideal competition yo-yo, because if you were to buy a couple backups, that could be extremely expensive. This is more of, in my opinion, a collector's yo-yo that also performs exceptionally well. It's not the kind of collector's yo-yo that's going to sit on your shelf and gather a ton of dust. It is a very incredible investment if you can make it. Now, obviously, very few people are going to be able to drop $750 on a yo-yo, but if you can, I really don't think you're going to be disappointed. With this yo-yo, you're getting a unique material, you're getting a beautifully designed yo-yo, you're getting a high performer that's light, floaty, and easy to use. So if those sound of interest to you, I think this is an excellent bet. Alrighty, that's about it, honestly, for my review of the Enso YoYo Metatron's Cube. This is such a unique and phenomenal yo-yo, so if you can hash out that $750, I would highly recommend it. Again, I want to thank Enso for sending me such an incredible, unique, and expensive yo-yo. I really appreciate their support over the years. They've been so kind to me, and they're coming out with some amazing yo-yos in the future, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. Alright, but I hope you guys all enjoyed this review. If you did, be sure to leave a like. Also, if you guys are new here and haven't seen my videos before, hit that subscribe button so you can see whenever I post a new video. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.